Hello, my name is Cole Hunter, and today we will be going over the scientific method and the steps that go into that process. The first step of the scientific process is to ask a question. What is going on in your environment or in your life that you need to change or figure out what the reasoning is behind it? The next step would be to do background research and figure out what is leading into or the premises of the situation that will then help you realize what you need to do when you conduct your experiment. Otherwise, you can't just go and wing your experiment and hope for everything to be controlled with your dependent and independent variables. Now, you will then construct your hypothesis, which would be an if-then statement. For example, off the top of my head, if I was to go to the gym, then I will lose weight. Now, say that's the experiment we're doing. The testing with that experiment would be I could put it in a controlled area. I would go to the gym 5 times a week, and I would also eat healthier, and hopefully I would lose weight throughout the time of the experiment. At the end of the experiment, I would analyze the results and draw a conclusion. Now, say I started out at 250 pounds, and by the end of the 3-month experiment, I was at 200 pounds. My results would be that I lost 50 pounds. Now, after I draw that conclusion, I would figure out if my hypothesis was true or if it was false. If my hypothesis is true, then I would record my results and know what my conclusion is about my hypothesis. If my hypothesis is false, for example, I would then reconduct my experiment with different independent and dependent variables. I would go to the gym 3 times a week and eat healthier, so then my energy wasn't as drained, but I was limiting my calories unlike the first time when I was doing this experiment. After that, I would then record my results, draw a conclusion, and figure out what the answer is. It's really a great step to use the scientific method, and you can do it for anything. If my car is low on gas, then I need to find different ways to get places. Or if I'm using too much gas, then I need to ride a bike to save money on gas. It's really simple, and it helps anyone figure out just following steps and figuring out what to do. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is deductive reasoning versus inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning uses logic and is often used to help you figure out your hypothesis and answer your question. While inductive reasoning, while also used to help find a hypothesis, is more keen on figuring out what your premises are early before you start your experiment, and that helps you go into it a lot faster and more efficient and figure out your answer quicker, instead of doing that step after you conduct your hypothesis and record background research. Now, for the difference between a hypothesis and a theory and a law, a hypothesis is an if-then statement. If I am to turn this video in on time, then I will not receive any points taken off for late fees, which makes sense. Now, theory is like the theory of that the Earth is flat. If we were to go into space, then we would figure out that the Earth is not flat and is in fact a globe. And a law is like the law of physics. Something must go up, something must come down. It really is as simple as that, but it helps us figure out everyday situations that we are stuck on. And a real life example of a theory is for someone to test the theory that the Earth is flat. If someone's to go onto their boat and ride out to the edge of the Earth, what they think is the edge, then they think they're going to fall off, but they would then discover that the Earth continues to go and move on. While the real life of a law is, like I said, if I was to throw a football up in the air, then it would come right back down and land in my hands if I was to catch it. And that is as simple as it is for the scientific method and the processes that go into it, which include a hypothesis, theories, laws, deductive and inductive reasoning. All these things are involved in a scientific method, from conducting a hypothesis to testing your experiment and recording your results. Thank you very much. Have a good day.